Catus, Maximus here, doing a quick review of this Century Tools spiral screw extractor set. The reason this caught my eye is two reasons. One, it's actually a 6-piece set. Two, made in Japan. I found this at True Value Hardware. Kind of surprised. Actually, I have never heard of this company until I started seeing their products at O'Reilly's Auto Parts. Now they're showing up at True Value. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this little set here. Anyway, they seem pretty decent, and just wanted to do a little video because I was surprised that there were some decent quality Japanese extractors being sold at local stores. I would assume these to be definitely quite competitive. Let's take a closer look at this number 6. Pretty plain. They don't have any other markings on it. You can see that the oddness, it just kind of looks like a shallow roll stamp. That's because these extractors are actually ground to specific sizes, or rated for certain sizes. So what they do is they roll stamp them, which of course causes some of the metal to bulge up. Then they grind it, so at least that's proper. Otherwise, they seem pretty normal. The machining on extractors isn't always perfect just because they're made out of some pretty tough steel, many times chrome vanadium, the same tool steel that wrenches are, and we can see that here. It's a bit chowdery. We can see some marks as the cutting head went through. These are known as shallow flute, or excuse me, shallow helix, standard length extractors. That would be so, as opposed to, say, these here, this Hansen set, which would be considered a medium helix angle stubby extractors, or even, of course, like these OEMs, which are standard length but deep or high helix angle extractors. These tend to be exact. So these are generally the standard ones. These things, basically 3 things happen after you successfully either drill a hole in the fastener you're trying to extract. Of course, you can use these on pipes and all sorts of fittings. Many times you break air fittings, hydraulic fittings. You're using these extractors to pull out the remainder of the fitting to put in a new one. Either you're successful in removing what you're trying to remove. 2, for whatever reason, it just doesn't want to grab and it ends up turning into a drill bit and just drilling out what you're trying to extract. Or 3, the extractor breaks. Many times, the reason that they do break is if you're trying to drill inside of a fastener, this is going to have a thinner cross-section of steel than the amount of thread engagement, and so it's always a real high-stress situation. Actually, let me go ahead and pull out the number 5 in this set. I kind of like this package because it is a snap-together package, so you can actually keep them organized and from getting beat up. Always make sure to oil these because they like to rust super-duper easily. Comparing, I have this Napa Taiwanese series set. We'll compare the number 5 out of it. I also have the much older Napa American-made set. And we'll take a look at it too. So if we compare... I should mention I do appreciate that they do come with just a little guide and just general properties on removing them. So many times these are, as you can see here, part of the sizing is they show using a tap wrench because you generally want to have some pretty even force when you're delivering on that. Now that I've actually grabbed the proper number 5, so we have the American-made one, some dirt on it. We can actually see that the American-made one is pretty darn nice. That's actually some really nice, smooth fluting as compared to these Japanese-made. So these may not be... I assume that they're good quality steel. They are Japanese-made, but they may not be like AAA, quality manufacturing. Here is the Taiwanese ones, and this is real interesting. You can see how they roll stamp it, but they didn't do any grinding or any finishing to that surface, and you can see how that causes quite a bit of protrusion. And these happen to be stamped chrome molybdenum. And you can see that these Taiwanese ones from Napa aren't quite as nice. What we're also noticing here is that the flutes here are actually deeper. They have a deeper cross section, maybe if I look at it sideways, than these Japanese ones. And I don't know if that's a bad thing. Deeper flutes does allow better grab, so maybe it is better in that sense. But it also allows the peaks to roll over a little bit more easily just because they have less support. But overall, I think they're decent extractors. And you may have seen something up here. Let me close this back up because it's easier to show. is that these extractors do come in standardized sizes. You know, they have charts for what fastener range is. Since they are tapered, you can drill something where you can just use the tip, or where you use this, it gets down to the very back. But generally you want to shoot for the extractor sinking down about halfway and then actually removing it. This is a number 1 through 6. And if you're curious, I have some old Cleveland twist drills. That's a number 8 right there. That one's pretty stout, as you can see. That's a number 10. And they come in all sizes, such as this Cleveland twist drill, number 12. You can imagine the size of bolt that you're trying to extract with something that's as large as your hand. These are actually just used for essentially pipes, but once again, things like hydraulic fittings, that type of stuff, where rarely you're going to be snapping a bolt that would ever need an extractor this size. This is just used for other purposes. So anyway, my little video about these Century extractors. They are Japanese made. Maybe not the highest quality fit and finish, but they are the type of tool that does get worn and beat up just after a few uses. And really the important thing is the quality of the steel and the heat treatment, so that the extractor is as strong as possible. If they save some money on a cheaper grind and cut on the flutes, that makes less of a difference than having poor quality steels. Anyway, really appreciate everybody who's been watching and subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Until next time, Catus Maximus out.